Hi guys, Mofo here, back with some more awesome Robocraft fun, and yes, Maximum Loadout is out now. The new update introducing modules, the power bar, weapon reworks, and much more. And I'll be having a look at the complete patch notes in just a second, but first of all, I'd like to give a massive shout out to Thomas Conda. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, check it out. These two bays here have been donated very kindly by Thomas Conda. Yes, check it out. I've got 2 whole new bays. Thank you very much, sir. Thomas Conda kindly offered me some codes he'd won, and thank you very much, as currently I've reached my 25 slot maximum and I can't add any new bays. And knowing this, Thomas very kindly gave me a couple of codes, and now I've got back up to 51 bays. Almost, I think I had 52 before I accidentally dismantled a load, which deletes them. Don't do this if you're over 25. Just take them apart inside the bay. So yes, the new modules are out. If we just have a look in here, let me see, on special, we've got the disc shield module and we've got the blink module, and they rock in at, I believe, let's see, how much do they cost? Yes, just over 10 million. The blink module slightly cheaper. I believe it's also slightly cheaper in terms of CPU. That's 285. The disc shield is 295, but we'll be having a look at those later. There's quite a lot going on, and there's some things that I like the look of immensely and other things that worry me slightly. So for this video, I'm just going to take something green out for a bit of a play. Hopefully you'll get to see some blink and shield action in the gameplay, but for the time being I'm just going to take a look at the patch notes for this video, and we'll just be reading through those while you enjoy the gameplay. So let's get started. So here we have the patch notes. The new blink module, a new high-tech gadget for your robot. Add to your robot and assign it to a loadout key to use it. Aim your crosshair and push the assigned key to activate. Your robot will instantly teleport to a location at the end of your crosshair. If your crosshair is on a ground location and within range, you'll teleport to that location. Otherwise, you'll teleport to a point at the end of the crosshair at the maximum teleport range. You'll need to practice with this module to get a feel for the maximum range. The blink consumes a lot of power and has a long recharge time. Also, they've added the new disc shield module. Activate by pointing your crosshair and pushing the assigned key in your loadout. Small fusion shield will be created at the location of your crosshair in the shape of a disc, and the fusion disc has the same properties as your base fusion shield, i.e. you and enemies can drive through it. You and your allies can shoot through it, but the enemies can't shoot through the shield. Activating the disc shield consumes less power than the blink, but has a longer recharge time. If your crosshair is on a ground location and within range, the shield will be created perpendicular to the ground plane. If your crosshair is in the air or beyond maximum range, the shield will be created in the air at the maximum shield range. Again, you will need to practice with this module to get a feel for the maximum range. Now, this is slightly strange. I thought when I saw the picture for this that it would just be activating a shield in front of the blink module. So that already plays out slightly different to how I envisioned it. I thought you might be able to use this on flyers to produce a shield that travels with you at a certain range in front of you, but it seems that once you put the shield into play, it's a stationary object. Okay, so the new loadout system. For the first time ever in Robocraft, you can now put many different types of weapons on a single robot. The loadout system has 5 assignment slots. Each weapon class or module you add takes up a slot. As you add a new weapon class or module to your robot, the loadout system dialog pops up and asks you to assign it to a slot. Using this dialog, you can easily rearrange your assignments as you like. You can also bring the loadout system dialog by pressing the Z shortcut key when building. Although, actually, while I was testing this in the bays, it didn't seem to do anything at all. So let me see. If we go to controls, is it assigned already? I think you might have to assign it. Let me see. Cube manipulator, blah blah blah. What's it called? Alright, that doesn't seem to be in the key slots, and pressing Z hasn't done anything. I'll have a look at this in a later video when I'm actually building something with the new components. Okay, so our loadout is saved separately for each robot in our garage. Top mount Laser Wasp and front mount Laser Wasp are in the same class, so share a slot, whereas Laser Wasp and Laser Blaster are in different classes, so will take up different slots. This is something that irks me, something woeful, and will be part of a later video. But as said, for now this is just the patch notes, so I'm just going to get through these. In combat, pushing the loadout assignment keys 1 to 5 on your number pad will select the weapon in that slot in real time with no delay. Switching is instant and free. However, we've got the power bar, and this comes to play a great deal with this. All weapons and modules now consume power, which you can think of as a resource, i.e. power, although here they're saying, much like mana in a fantasy game. For those of us who don't understand what fuel or power is, I don't know why they had to put that in there. The power recharges over time, 100% recharges in 10 seconds. If you use all of your power and then switch loadout, the weapon you switch to may not be able to fire, so you need to manage your power consumption carefully. Weapons and modules also have separate recharge times. These are shown as progress bars around the outside of each weapon in the loadout at the bottom of the HUD. I think it's also kind of shown in the reticule. There's kind of a power bar building up, much as there was with the plasma and stuff. The recharge time determines the fire rate of a weapon. Adding more weapons of the same type often decreases the recharge time and thus increase the fire rate. The power bar resets to 100% on full respawn, but recharge time does not reset on respawn. Interesting. Okay, recharge times continue to count down even when a weapon is deselected in loadout or if it's been shot off, so healing back a module or respawning does not instant reset its cooldown time. Okay, so there's been some weapon improvements. Again, this is something I'm going to have to take a closer look at in another video because I found some things that I'm not too happy with about this. But most of it sounds good, so let's just get through these patch notes. All weapons have been significantly reworked to integrate them with the power bar and loadout systems. Lasers are now real high-velocity projectiles as opposed to hit scan, so you now need to lead your target depending on its distance to you. The damage of the lasers has been increased to solidify the laser as a close-quarter weapon, as it's now much harder to hit distant and moving targets. The plasma launcher now fires its projectiles separately in a round-robin fashion. You can pulse the trigger to fire, and by this they mean tap fire, once to fire one projectile at a time, or hold the trigger to unleash all your power bar in projectiles in a single clustered volley. It's not quite as simple as that sounds, but again I'll be demonstrating this kind of thing in another video coming soon. Managing the power bar carefully is important with plasmas. The 10-second recharge limit full volley drops to once per 10 seconds. To compensate for the reduced frequency of the plasma's alpha strike, the plasma explosions now do an increased amount of damage in the center, and significantly increased damage of splash damage from their blast. Mega Plasma now fire one large projectile with a huge blast radius, and with increased damage to match. Rail cannons now also fire round robin, and you can fire as many as your power will allow. That's interesting. Rail cannon shots are now real projectiles, so these again are no longer hit scan. And so at distance you will need to lead their targets. Now the velocity of the rail projectile is greater than the laser, and that will give it the advantage of a ranged weapon over the SMG. The rail cannon damage is now applied in a more penetrative way, so drilling into your target is more possible with the rail. The 6-gun limit has been removed. Recharge times now decrease further when you add more than 6 weapons of some types. In here it's got brackets, rail, laser, plasma, nano. Nano disruptor fire their beams as short pulse in round robin fashion as opposed to multiple beams at once. This is all a bit tricky. I really will have to go more in depth with later videos on all of this stuff. Additionally, nanos will deliver significantly faster burst heal rate if you add more to your robot, but at the cost of depleting your power quickly. To compensate the nanos' new burst heal potential, the nanos no longer deal damage to enemies. They're exclusively heal only. Now, in a way, that's a bit shocking. I suppose it does mean that chaps who were never very good at getting the hang that you could attack stuff with weapons, you know, use nanos as weapons, that kind of fixes that. But I guess switching to a weapon is now a choice, so it's not a complete disaster. So if you want to have an all nano weapon, you will have no attack capability unless you've possibly got some Teslas. You will need to include another weapon in an alt slot if you wish to actually attack stuff, as nanos are friendly fire only these days. Tesla blades are now only open when they are selected. Again, so even the Tesla, you can't just have them as a defensive capability. Tesla blades are now an offensive weapon, and so you need to actively switch weapon slot to use them. Again, these are things I'm not too sure about, but we'll get to that in later videos. Teslas don't have cooldowns at all and no longer get destroyed when you make contact with an enemy and no longer need you to heal them to regain their ammo. Now that's very interesting, and it will be great fun testing them out and covering them in a later video. Tesla blades now act like futuristic chainsaws. The longer you have them in contact with your enemy, the more damage you'll deal. That's quite nice. Each Tesla blade that is in contact with an enemy will deal damage per second and consume power at the same rate. The more Teslas you have, the more damage per second you deal and the more per second you consume. Aero flak and rocket launcher are pretty much as they were, but they're now linked to the power bar and recharge systems. All weapons now rotate their turret at the same speed, at the faster speed similar to that of the laser. Firing weapons no longer reset the health regen cooler timer, so only taking damage prevents you from regen. Okay, and then we get on to some other stuff. Of course, if you've logged in, you'll have seen that they were asking you to confirm your email to get a reward of a day's premium. And once you confirm that, you'll get an additional 3 days of free premium. And they just want those emails confirmed so they can send you offers and let you know about major updates. I'm sure they won't spam us. I'm sure they won't. Okay, so we've got some other changes too. They've added more connection points to larger aerofoils and rudders. Increased the health of larger aerofoils and rudders, that sounds good. Increased the top speeds of aerofoils and rudders, and I've got to say, I'd already noticed that certainly my Crow vs Giants, I think since the Unity 5 upgrade, had been flying faster, so they'd already had some buffs to aerofoils, and now we've had more, so that's just fantastic. They've reduced the ground damage of aero flak, awesome. The health per volume factor on cubes has increased, so slopes now have less health. League system recently changed to award to a full star every time you rank up and lose a whole star every time you rank down. Enemy spotted audio changed to be less intrusive while playing in Battle Arena, good stuff. They've added more servers and reduced the number of concurrent games on each server, freeing up memory, CPU capacity and reducing the load, ensuring a more consistent and lag-free game experience. Robo ranking of aero flak increased to reduce usage in lower class matches versus new players. I must admit, I'd been taking out my 15k bot and found I was up against what must have been 25k bots and was quite chuffed with myself. I was destroying lots of them. And then I tried taking out some of my lower class bots, such as around the 6k mark, and I was still coming up against bots that had 4 lommels on them, so they must have been in the 25k kind of region. And while I was kind of doing okay in some matches, in others it felt like I was unfairly being match-made with much, much higher RR. Now, I'm not sure if that's taking into account my level and my player ability, or whether that was just poor matchmaking. So, it'll be interesting to see how the matchmaking is, and if they've done any changes to that at all. It doesn't seem to mention anything about it here significantly. Gun aiming, no longer mix your gun points at your ally if they fly in front of the camera. Oh, good. Good stuff. You can now overclock to level 15 in Battle Arena. Awesome, although I'll have to check that. In the practice mode, it seems you can only overclock your bot to 13 still, so I may well mention that to somebody if it's not already on the forums. Battle Arena Fusion Shield now automatically goes down at 20 minutes, and Pro-Tonivity escalates faster with the aim of ending more battles at between the 15 and 20 minute mark. Okay, and then we're on to bug fixes and improvements. They fixed a bug where players who are not the leader of a platoon can still invite people to platoon via the drop menu. Fixed a bug allowing you to sometimes shoot whilst alignment rectifying. Fixed a bug where cubes that extend outside the mothership bounds did not have correct collision in battle. Fixed some bugs caused when large objects were placed outside of the mothership bounds. Fixed the center mass of aero rods. The profanity filter is now enabled on robot names. They fixed a bug where sometimes switching to the CRF and back caused graphical glitches in your garage. Fixed an issue with a vampire wing and vampire rudder were incorrectly set up, so they now behave the same as aerofoils and rudders. Some improvements to reduce frame stalls and increase average frame rates. They fixed some intermittent crash bugs. Fixed a bug that allowed plasma shots to sometimes pass through the base shield. Fixed a bug that allowed players to shoot outwards through the enemy fusion shield. Fixed a bug where inviting new players to platoon sometimes did not work. And on rare occasions it was possible to go above 100% health. Oh gosh, that's bad. Good job that's fixed. Ensured that all types of Tesla blades can be placed 1 cube apart when placed parallel with each other. That was something that was introduced recently. I haven't had time to take advantage of that yet, but I'm sure I'll be getting onto a Tesla build quite soon, so it'll be fun to check that out. Fixed an issue which let the CRF show uncapped robot rankings. Fixed a pricing error where the Electroplate H and Electroshield H cost the same RP but not the same GC. Fixed a bug which caused the garage bays of the new players to start from 1000. Fixed a bug which occasionally caused players not to rank up when winning in the top 50% of a league game. I really will have to go in and try the leagues out at some point. They fixed a bug which caused Tesla damage and not to be recorded when hitting megabots, and fixed a bug which allowed players to be shot even when out of render distance. They fixed the LOML texture, replacing the text MLL with LOML, and the spike electroplates can no longer be put on megabots. Oh, that's a bit of a shame, but never mind. Never mind. Well, that looks jolly fun. As said, I'm only covering the patch notes in this video. There's far too much to go over to do it in just one vid. Either that or I'd have a really, really long video, and I don't want to do that. So hopefully you've enjoyed my gameplay with Something Green, and I've had the chance to see some of the new components in action. Hopefully we got to see some of the blinks and some of the disc shields in action. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to be back very soon with some more videos on this maximum loadout. And so all my videos now will be in a maximum loadout playlist. What I'll do is older videos that I've yet to get up, they'll still go out in the previous playlist, but all of the new stuff, to save confusion, will be in the maximum loadout one. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you like the videos, please do like, comment, and of course make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.